Retro toys have always fascinated me. And now that Funko has gone and recreated a lot of those as collectibles, I thought it'd be fun again to check out the original toys and compare them to the Pops. Starting with Strawberry Shortcake. This is actually a new version of the original that I found not too long ago. And what I love about this too is that the newer version actually has a bit of a mystery element to go along with it. You'll notice over on here, there's a lot of room, and if you flip it around, it's actually got 4 strawberry doors. Something unique about Strawberry Shortcake that a lot of other dolls didn't have was the fact that she smelled like fruit, and yeah, it does! Such a neat thing that they included, especially because she is named Strawberry Shortcake, so it's pretty fitting. Alrighty, let's see what she is looking like. This is pretty great, and just to make sure again, yeah, she definitely smells like strawberries, and this is pretty cute also, practically 1-to-1 of what the original one looked like. Okay, now that we've got her out of the box, let's find out what those mystery items are, and I guess we'll just start with number 1, and it says 4 surprises, and of course you can collect the rest of the gang. Alrighty, what do we have here? This first one is, okay, a little strawberry comb for her hair. Totally makes sense. I know the original one came with that as well, and now in box number 2, we've got, ooh, is it her cat? I don't know the name of it, but that's pretty cute. After that, everybody, getting into door number 3, we have, aha, her strawberry purse. And last but not least, we have, well, this totally makes sense, an actual Strawberry Shortcake. And well, everybody, there we go. We've got everything out. So her purse can go on her arm. We've also, of course, got her cat to stand next to her, the Strawberry Shortcake, and yes, you can comb her hair because it does feel like actual hair, which is really neat. But now, hold on, we can't move on to the next toy yet because, of course, I have the Funko Pop that goes along with it. There is actually a few Strawberry Shortcakes in the retro toys category, but I decided to go with the animation one because if you take a look at the box, like literally, look at this. She's sitting on a strawberry just like she is in this exact figure. I felt like it was a little bit more fitting for today. And anyways, taking this one out of the box, it is also scented, which is perfect. She's also sitting on a giant strawberry with a basket of strawberries, and I'm just noticing now, these outfits are exactly the same like Funko. You outdid yourself with this one. Toxic Crusaders, toxic Crusaders. I had no friends, no girls would love me until I became radioactive ugly. That's right, everybody. We're talking about Toxic Crusaders next, and I have the figure here, which comes inside of a giant toxic waste container. This was honestly such a random television show, and to have a figure look this sick is insane. And if you take a look on the back, it almost looks like a comic book where it's got him at the top there. It says it's cleanup time because, of course, his weapon of choice was a mop. It's just so neat, and I guess you could have collected Toxie as well as Dr. Killamoff. And this one here is kind of like the radioactive version of him because he has those black light pieces. And now, it pains me to do this, but I will be opening it up today so we can check out Toxie. Okay, alright. I'm glad I'm at least doing this on camera so we can see it together because otherwise we would not get to appreciate this packaging. Here we go. Oh, it hurts to do it. But either way though, we have Toxie. Oh, yeah, this is gonna be amazing. Alrighty, there he is. Look at that, and I'm wondering if he stands. He probably will. I just gotta pose him a little bit because his legs are huge. Ooh, I think I got him. Yeah, there we go. That is amazing. Okay, let's see what else we've got. Of course, the mop, as well as it looks like some toxic grenades. Okay, everybody, there he is with everything on. Like, I threw on the toxic grenades. He's got the broom as well as that shield, and now it is time to get into this here, the mystery glow weapon. I'm a little worried this is gonna go everywhere. So the goal is to just grab the weapon, maybe leave the toxic slime inside, and I think I can get to it. Oh yeah, it smells like that weird kind of, you know what I'm talking about if you've ever like played with slime before. Here it is. Ooh, it is gooey. Ooh, okay, I gotta get into this. It's like snot. Okay, hold on everybody, I'm getting there. It's a little hard to get it off. Ugh. Alrighty, I've got it out and clean. So let me close this up so I don't get any more on me. I think I'm good. And now I guess I could show you Blobby a little bit closer up. He's not cute. I was gonna say he was, but here he is. Now everybody, checking out the Funko Pop. shop. It is crazy how much detail they put into this to look exactly like Toxie here. Something that I love about it too is on the backside, you can actually see like what he looked like with his broom, and it's got the logo above it. So let's open this thing up. And I think here, this one is kind of like I said, the black light kind of like radioactive version of him, when this one is just a little bit more of the regular colors. But it is definitely still Toxie. Yeah, he's got the one eye above the other one kind of sticking out a little bit, his shield with the pipe on the back, the 3 toxic grenades. The only thing that he doesn't have on the pop is his mop. But besides that, they are exactly the same. So great. Candyland is next up, and this game actually released in the 40s. So the one that I have here is the 70th anniversary. And now I feel like most of you have heard of Candyland before, but if you haven't, it says Candyland was created in 1940s and has been a favorite first game for children ever since. It's a game where you play as almost like a little licorice person, and you have to run around Candyland trying to make it to the end first. There are a lot of fun characters to go along with this, and so I'm hoping that we can see a couple of what they've actually turned into Funko Pops in here. And well, actually, I know that there is definitely one of them, the player piece on the front here. Funko has created a red one, and we'll be taking a look at that in a second, but first, let's open this thing up. Alrighty, and ooh, right off the bat, everybody, we've got King Candy circa 2002. Is that what it says? That's funny. Well, that's really cool that he's included, and now let's check out this board, and I also want to check out the cards, because you never know, there could be a few on there. And it's looking like on the board here, it might literally just be the player pieces at the beginning. Which is definitely too bad, because I know that there is like a version that didn't release right away. And I'm guessing that this one is probably like based on the original game. Maybe it released in like the 70s or 80s, sometime around then. They added a bunch of characters, and those are the ones that Funko's created. And actually, now that I think about it, this one says 2002, so maybe it was early 2000s. But anyways, it's still really cool that I have this. And we can take a look at the actual player pieces. Oh, it's so funny how similar they are to that Funko Pop that released. Yeah, there we go, everybody. We have a yellow player piece if you want to check them out. We've also got green. It looks like all 4 of them in here are pretty much exactly the same, just different colors. And then when you take a look at this one here, this is of course the one that released. It is just, it's cool, I like it. Now the other thing that I want to take a look at here is if the cards have anything on them, or is it literally just the different colored squares that you would jump to? Like, I don't remember if they had anything else with different characters on it, so that's what we're gonna be looking at. Let me see if I can show you. They're very simple, because of course this is what the original game looked like. But yeah, it's just like red and yellow, and I think there's a purple in here, and I think that's an orange. Either way, just a bunch of different ones. And now, you know how I mentioned a second ago that we do have the King Candy? Well, I actually happen to have him right here. Take a look at that. This guy just has so much detail. I love the staff in his hand, as well as the way they've done his like crown with a bunch of like icing, as well as cherries on top. It really is, well, the cherry on top. Then after that, everybody, we have Queen Frostine. Like, you guys see what I mean? There are so many cool characters that I guess weren't included right away when the game first released. They were probably slowly added over time. Because, like we did see a second ago, there is that player piece, and well, here it is. And I do wish that they made the other colors as well. I think it would have been so cool to see. But also, I gotta show you this, because every single one of these pieces on the inside flap actually have a different spot on the board. So this one here says start, which totally makes sense, because that's where the player piece would be, at the very beginning before the game starts. Then everybody, look at this one here. We have Jolly, and I am again such a big fan of this one. I love the eyes on him. I think they're so unique. And I also noticed that there is a pretty large thing on the top of this one, so I want to check it out. What does it say? Oh, right. Gooey gumdrops. Stay here until a yellow square card is drawn. See, there's different things, which I totally wish were included. Oh, hold on, and I just noticed on the bottom, it says the Gumdrop Pass. So yeah, it must have been like an 80s or 90s version of the game. But now hold on, we're not even done yet with these characters, because I still have Plumpy to show you, which is again, one of my favorites. I remember when Plumpy released, I had to get him right away, and I believe it released for Emerald City Comic Con, which totally makes sense, because pretty much every character they had there was green. So anyways, a really great one. And another fan favorite of mine, we have Mr. Mint, where he is entirely made of, well, it would make sense, candy canes. And I want to know, does he have something on him? Oh, he does. Yes, 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 I remember this. If you take a look, it's actually a candy cane spot that you would land on. Super fun. And then everybody, last but not least, we have Lord Licorice, which is again really cool, released only over at Target. It was kind of a hard one to get. And And funny enough, this is actually every single figure they made for the game. Now let's get into Robo Force, which isn't as known as some of the other action figures, but is still some amazing stuff. And now if you know Robo Force, you would know that these newer versions of them aren't exactly the same as the ones when they first released in the 80s. That's actually because when the company Nacelle purchased the rights to these figures, they switched them up a little bit. And if you don't know who Nacelle is, you may remember them from the documentaries like The Toys Who Made Us. So they really do some amazing stuff, and they've been getting into making some of those old toys, so it really is cool to have this. And take a look at them a little bit closer up, and if you want to check out the back, you can see a little bit more about them here. Ooh, alrighty. Oh, and it still has the suction cups! That is a big part of what the original figures had. It was kind of like a way to keep them on the table, I guess, without them knocking over. Here we are, out of the box. Now, let me open this thing up, and I want to see how the suction cups work. Oh, yeah, this feels really nice. And of course, like I said, we do have the suction cups, so let's stick them down and see how we do here. There we go. Look at this. I like it a lot. Now I'm also gonna figure out the different things that like hook to him. I also really like the articulation on this. This is fun. But yeah, so it looks like he's got some blasters that you can hook onto his back somewhere. Or you know what, now that I think about it, they probably just go and do his hands. That would make more sense. I'm just slowly figuring him out as I go, and it looks like this goes into his back, and then this presses into here to add some extra artillery. And you know what, just for fun, I kind of want to try the other one here because then I think they'll match for colors. Yeah, I want to see what that looks like. There we go. You can kind of slide that in. I think that's where it goes, or maybe I'm wrong. But either way, this thing is amazing. I'll slowly be figuring it out. And now, everybody, let's take a look at the Funko Pop, because this one here is actually based off of the original design, not the newer one that they created just a few years ago. And what's funny about this here is that this one's actually Max 64, and the reason they did this is because his name used to be Max Steel, but Mattel happens to have another character with that same name, so they swapped it out. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know who came first, but I feel like Max Steel should have kept it. This one, not the other one. And so you can see with the two of these next to each other, they are similar, but they're definitely different. And I think, I don't know, like I really do love how this looks, but the original would have been really cool to have as well. Maybe if they did like a little one that also came with the big one. Either way though, still so amazing. And I'm guessing that this one here is Max 64 and then this one's Max 89 because he's like a bigger souped up version of this. Oh, and you know what? I just realized that they actually did include the suction cup on the pop. It just doesn't suction, of course. Oh, no, I don't want to break. Oh, there we go. The Great Garo. Yeah, the figure's a little bit smaller than I thought, too. But you know, it is cool that this figure is also made by Nacelle, who made the Robo Force one we just took a look at. And now what I think is cool about this figure here is that they're taking the original one, but making it a little bit more modernized, because I don't know how many people would still want that giant robotic figure with, like, arms that's supposed to be taking over a city. It is cool, don't get me wrong, but if you see all of the other remote control figures that are out now, it's a little bit dated. So to have something like this now, I think is a really great way to do it. And I love that they included the regular style of the box, where it's almost like, it just reminds me of like George of the Jungle, kind of. And what's really neat about it too is that he was supposed to be a giant monster, very similar to probably like Godzilla or King Kong, and he was taking over a city, and then you could control him in your living room. And so let's take this out of the box to see what he looks like a bit closer up, because I haven't seen him besides inside of that little hole right there. And oh, okay, so he's not actually the same. He's a bit bigger armed. Do you guys see what I mean? And I guess the original one had arms like this, just a little bit farther out with kind of like, you know, rubber things to pick things up. So it's neat. I like it. They've also included that chain that he has that says Garloo, and he kind of, you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, he's kind of caveman-like. And now, everybody, let's compare it to the Pop. And now this one here, I've actually gotten a protector because it's limited to 1,000 pieces. It was only available over at New York Comic Con during their Festival of Fun, and yeah, I love this thing. And actually, this one is a lot more similar to the original that they created. Oh, and this is funny. I'm looking on the side here and the back, and it kind of looks like that original box, or it actually is definitely like that original box, where it says Marks, which was the original company that created it, but then also look over here. It shows you everything you could have done with that original RC. So now, let's take this thing out of the box and see what is going going on with it because we've got to check this out. Ooh, okay, it's got the print, he's got the chain on as well, and the hands are also very similar where they're kind of like stuck in one position. You know what I mean? Where it's like this, and then that's pretty much it. So fun, but also so weird that it's still being talked about like 80 years later, and a bunch of companies are still making figures of it. But hey, you know what? I cannot complain because I love stuff like this. Cranium, one of the biggest board games from the 90s, and well, they're back for their 25th anniversary. And so of course, that's why we're talking about it today with the retro toys, and something that's kind of interesting about it, and you may notice from the front already, do you see it at the bottom there? It's got that Funko crown on the front. I know, a bit odd, and if you take a look on the back, you'll notice that it's actually being created by Hasbro and Funko Games now. Apparently Cranium stopped making games back in 2008, but then years and years later, companies brought it back, and Funko is kind of like the sole company making these now. If you ever go to the store and you see a Cranium thing, you'll notice that it says Funko on the back, and I think that is so cool that they were able to do this for the 25th anniversary. And now, let's open this thing up because I want to check it out a little bit closer up. Also, I'm sure some of you guys are wondering, what could they have made for a retro toy with this one? Well, actually, they've got a couple different mascots for the different types of questions that you answer, or, you know, different things you would do throughout the game. Ooh, wow! I don't know if I remember Cranium as much as I thought I did. And oh, there we go, everybody. It's Creative Cat, somebody that we'll be getting into soon. And anyways, let's take a look at this. Whoa, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to set the whole thing up because there is a lot going on in here, but wow, I love the presentation as soon as you open it up. You know what? I actually have family coming to visit soon, so this could be a cool one to play, but look at that, everybody. There's so much going on inside. We've got the whiteboard markers, we have the die, and I don't know what it is. I'm just like a sucker for really fun dice, and look at this thing. It's so weird. I really enjoy that. Also the timer, as well as it comes with the clay, of course, because you have to do a bit of sculpting, and then I believe these here are the 2 player pieces, yeah, for the different teams. So fun. And really quickly, I want to check out the cards because, yes, they have the different characters on the front. You can see them on this side a little bit, but if you flip it around, they're a bit smaller in color on the top there. And, of course, they did make a Funko Pop of Creative Cat, but I mean, come on. We need the other 3 as well. I would love those. Why they didn't do a 4-pack is beyond me, but I mean, come on. Those would be so cool with the little fez and the glasses and then the alien as well as the star. They'd be perfect. The characters also have some exaggerated features like larger eyes, bigger heads already. It works really well for a pop. And now, before I get too ahead of myself, let me close this back up so I can show you that figure. Now, of course, we have, like I said, Creative Cat. And now really quickly, I just want to show you the back of the box because the logo is there, but there's also something missing. The 3 other characters! Funko, what are you doing? Anyways, I'll stop worrying about them because there is some interesting stuff that I want to take a look at with this one because they gave it some great detail, like the clay as well as the paintbrush, the palette, and if you take a look at his tail, he even has a little pencil coiled up in it. I also really enjoy the beret. It just adds to the artist of this figure. And well, anyways, everybody, there we go. That is all of the retro toys that I have for you today. It really was fun to check these out, and I will probably be doing more in the future because there is so many that Funko keeps making. But seriously though, hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow!